freshly sanded and painted blackboard. Nice. Holy crap though, look, I got fucking demolished by mosquitoes. That's just one arm. Like, also on the other arm. And definitely on my feet, and probably on the back of my neck and stuff. Unreal. Honestly, I think one of the worst parts is that you can see them, and you know, even if you stop that one that you see, it's futile, and there are many others that you can't. So it's just like taunt to see and spot one and stop one. I'm not gonna forget to spray myself anymore, guys. No more forgetting the spray. So, got to help out in the cafe a bunch today. The cafe is crazy. It's really modern. I'll try and get a shot of the inside properly, maybe do a little tour. The food is crazy. There's some pretty nice stuff there. Some quite expensive, actually. There's like a world champion coffee that's 40 ringgits, which is like £8. So it's quite expensive, but it's very good. All the produce is really high quality. They're like proper baristas making proper coffee. Coffee's really good. And they bake their own bread. Bread's really good. Basically, it's all really good. Oh, the kefir is amazing. I really want to try their other fermented stuff. So, I also met the owner of this whole place today. Yao, I think his name is. Oh, check that. He seems very cool. I didn't get to talk to him much, but he seems very down to earth. I mean, clearly if he was starting this project, he will have to be a little bit. So yeah, I actually have a lot, whoops, lots that I wanted to talk about today. I wrote loads of notes that I wanted to go through, because as I was in the cafe helping, I was washing dishes. For a big chunk, I just sort of started washing when there was loads piled up and washed dishes for a while. And you know what, it gave me a lot of time to reflect and think through some things and just ponder thoughts. Quite meditative, really, which is really kind of its own form of productive, you know. So, oh, sorry, I'm out of breath, just climbing up this little mountain to the classroom to give the blackboard a second coat if it needs it. But yes, I had lots of thoughts, including if I started an intentional community like here, what my values would be, what could I learn from this place, what would I do the same, what would I do differently, that kind of thing. Because yeah, the more I think about it, the more I do think that I want to start a space like this somewhere back home or near home, near my people. But yeah, I think I'll probably check on this board, maybe sit here. There's a little spot here that looks quite serene with the prayer in the background. And then I'll chat through some stuff I have written down because I'm out the way. Oops, because I'm out the way here. Okay, catch you in a sec. Also, look how beautiful. Looks great. Maybe it doesn't need a second coat. We'll see. I did remember to spray myself this time, but I'm probably still gonna get savaged by mozzies. Alright, let's check out my notes. Here we go. All night rain. It rained all night, and it was still raining in the morning. That was fun. I didn't get wet or anything, but it was just kind of, it was weird. I can't remember the last time, if ever, that I've had that. It doesn't seem like such a crazy experience when you say it out loud. It rained for a long time, but it rained for a long time. That was it. That was my whole, it's the whole thing. Chia and soy doesn't mix. Chia and soy milk. It doesn't bloom like water does. So, just a note. Vegan breakfast. Ah, yes. Come up with a good... need to come up with a good, stable, solid, easy breakfast. Fiona here has some soy protein. So I'm going to introduce that, I think, into my breakfast to replace eggs, which they have here. Because the eggs, I don't think they're free range. There's a lot of eggs and they come in a big plastic packet. So I won't be partaking in that as much as possible. So I need to come up with, yeah, oats and nuts and seeds and chia and maybe protein powder, soy protein powder, and yeah, and the bread and stuff. So I think I'll be fine, but I like to have a good, consistent fallback meal, generally. Oops, sorry, spider. Oh, remember Jonathan, who I mentioned yesterday? So much to say about him, but maybe I'll save it again. I'll put his name down, and then if I feel like talking about him, I will. But he, funnily enough, a thing I didn't mention earlier, he's an Iraqi war vet, which is funny. Because I'm Iraqi, for those who don't know. I'm not going to qualify stuff, okay? Because if you're here, welcome, but I'm not, you know. I already know that. We didn't really talk about it much. More banned words, yeah. I can't remember if I already said this, but after Captain Fantastic, I thought it was actually a really good idea to ban the word interesting. But also, like, descriptive non-words. Like, fine, nice, cool. You know, that kind of thing. And good and bad. Some of my friends already know this, but I've been trying to move away from saying good and bad, like, as descriptors, and move towards an actual, you know, like, trying to understand why I think it's good or bad and use that. It will both make me sound more eloquent, but also it, you know, it makes you question why. It makes you question for yourself why you feel that it's good and bad. Sometimes it's obvious, but I actually think it's a I was gonna say it's a nice exploration, which I guess I'm using it as a descriptive. Well, maybe that's not okay either. It makes for a better exploration into one's own values and morality when you swap out the words good and bad for why it's good and bad. It was funny, I told the other people that, and they started calling me out, and they called themselves out on it. They quite liked it, I think. I started reading Fyodor Dostoevsky's The Idiot. 200 pages in, and I'm actually quite enjoying it. I don't know why I said that with surprise. He's a very famous writer, author that many people enjoy. But yeah, I don't know what I was expecting. Definitely not it in the way that it's written, but I'm really enjoying it, and I'll let you know my review when I finish. I need to figure out my travel plans after this. I think there are monkeys on the roof. Yeah, I need to figure out my travel plans. What is happening? Is that a monkey? Oh no, I think that's someone in their room. Ah, okay. Need to figure out my travel plans. And to Thailand after this. My bus out and to Thailand, because I was thinking. So the Indian family, with the mother and the 2 daughters and stuff that I was talking about, they have invited. Well, the mother mentioned that if I was ever in Singapore, I could go stay at their house. Now I have a few days between the end of this and when I need to start. Not a lot, like 2 days maybe, and need to start the elephant sanctuary. So I was thinking I could spend it in Bangkok, I could spend it in KL, but I could spend it in Singapore, stay with them. So I need to decide if I want to do that, because that might be quite nice actually. Nice, look at that, see? That might be an enriching experience. I think I'll save for later my reflections on starting my own place. It's a big thing. Hello. Here's Jonathan. So I will end this with I put portrait and photograph, but I think they're the same thing. Basically, I like the idea potentially of using my big camera to take portraits of interesting people, so that I can just have people that I meet on my journey in my album and remind me of those people and the interesting conversations I've had, and maybe where certain ideas that I get or prompts that I get have come from, because often it comes from conversations with people, either pushing my own thoughts forward, because the conversation helps me push mine even if I don't take what they're saying. The arguments or debates or the back and forth helps me develop my own ideas, or maybe it is something that I got from them. Yeah, because I took shots of all the kids, almost all the kids, on my big camera, and yeah, because they don't need to be good portraits, but I do like very close up, just face portraits on the big camera. Oh, this net, scratching mosquito bites on this net feels really, really good. Yeah, I mean, that's I think good for now. I've actually been enjoying the downtime, time to read. I have not felt the really intense pull to socialize and be in a big city and big groups and lots of people. I guess there are lots of people around here, but it is different, you know, it is different. And I guess I do miss conversations with people where I care, obviously I care about the subject matter when I'm talking to people, but it is different. You're hearing about someone's life or their job or something, it is all very temporary and you're learning it for the moment and what you can get out of it, and it's not often like you're getting it in for your own enrichment and to learn about their life so you can carry it forward because you care about their life. And you kind of miss that when you're talking to your friends, they tell you something benign but it matters, and it sits in your head as like a base of knowledge of you getting to know that person more or understanding that person. And I think conversations, you can have the same content, but having them with someone you care about and you know is more of a fixture in your life does feel different to having it with someone who isn't, or potentially isn't, or probably isn't. So I've been reflecting on that a little bit. Man, my brain really wants to say, so that's interesting, a lot. I hope I keep this habit up of swapping out words for things with more intention. Sorting out benign words for words with more intention. Yeah, I didn't need a second coat, but I'm just not gonna do one because it doesn't need it. Oh, and I'll sign off. But I'll just say that they want me to teach martial arts, just which is yeah something that I need to consider how I plan the lessons because it's for the kids, but also I think there's like a culture night, which I think might also be for the kids, but the adults will be there and they also want to learn. So something that can work for both. Probably simple stuff like basic rules of engagement, run away. There are no other rules. And then like conditioning, a little bit of a warm up, some basic strikes, basic blocks, pressure points to go for if you're not sure what to do, that kind of thing. Yeah, simple self-defense stuff that's actually practical rather than like the more what's the word I'm looking for? The more I want to say opulent. It's not the right word, but you get what I mean. The more opulent sort of aspect of martial arts, the more performative nature of it, and all that kind of stuff. Especially if I'm only going to do like a couple of lessons, if even a couple. So yeah. Oh! Picture. It was something else. Picture. I was so okay. So I was working in the cafe, right? I was serving people stuff, just taking it to the tables, and there was this one table of 4 Indian of Indian looking descent, but they were Malaysian. And they, yeah, just I delivered them food. Nothing really happened. Anyway, I came back after a few minutes, and they called me over and they asked for ice, just for a tap water. Fine. Then I go off and do something else. I tell someone else like, oh, they want some tap water. I go off. And I come back and the tap water's there on the side, and one of the staff goes, oh, the table asked for you to deliver this specifically. And I was like, alright. So I go, I give them the water, and I sort of like crouch down because I suspect they want to talk to me. And yeah, the guy, there were 3 girls and 1 guy, and the guy starts talking to me, asking me like, oh, where am I, no, he starts out by asking how old I am. So I'm like 27. He's like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah, I'm English. And they're like, oh, wow. And he asks, I can't remember if he does this before or after. I think first of all he's like, oh, yeah, my friend wants to take a picture with you. Now, I know that in rural parts of Southeast Asia, foreigners often get asked for their photo, but normally it's white foreigners, and in more rural areas than this. I know I'm in a rainforest, but there's a lot of there are a lot of like Singaporean tourists and like people from the city. Like they were from KL, so they weren't actually from somewhere rural. And also I'm not white. I'm foreign, but I don't really. I mean, I'm Arab, right? So I don't look Western foreign. So I thought that was strange. And normally it's all of like they all they want to take a photo, but it was actually just one of the girls wanted a photo. So they took a couple of photos of me with this girl. And then afterwards he asked me if I was married. Like none of the girls spoke to me. They didn't say anything. He asked me if I was married, and I said no. He's like, oh, single. Like, yeah. So then a little twig in my head was like, is it just because I'm pretty and foreign? I don't know. Very, very odd. And then he asked for my number. He was like, can I have your WhatsApp? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then messaged me like straight after they left, being like, what's your IG? Don't have Instagram, so I gave him my YouTube channel. And then that was it. Yeah, and then I told Fiona about it, and she was like, I've never heard of that happening to a male, like, volunteer. Like, it happens with the girls, but not with the guys. And she was looking at me like it was weird. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. So, I should have asked why. But in the moment, I think my brain was just like, oh yeah, you're because you're foreign, and then like a few of the clues of like maybe it isn't just that or wasn't just that. Not sure. But there you go, fun little story that happened. But I liked working at the cafe. I enjoyed doing something that let me think about other things whilst I was doing it, and be a little bit productive, and not and it made me challenge myself in a I'm not better than this kind of way. Like, I'm not better than simple work. I'm not better than washing dishes. I'm not better than delivering food. You know, it takes all people to make the ship go, and I might have skills that are also suited for other things, and maybe highly skilled other things. But that doesn't make me above doing like work like that. And you know, I never thought myself above it, but doing it is in itself humbling when reflecting and coming from a job that you're, you know, where you're told your skills are being used, or a lot of society puts pressure on you thinking that you're better than people who do other work. Again, not something that I've ever taken to heart, but it is still a form of conditioning that I think is important to keep reminding yourself of. So, yeah, man, that gratitude shit, seeping into everything, must be annoying. Trying to be so positive about everything, but there you go. Cool. And then maybe later we'll reflect on, I might use my good travel notebook, thanks Carly, to start writing ideas about what I want from a community. Yeah, I think we're going for dinner. A few the guests, or Jonathan, maybe the only guest actually, and then some of the staff and the guy who runs the place. So that will be an experience. I want to say interesting, an experience where I get to question the values and intentions of this place and beyond, which I will find very interesting. Ha! Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go and apply some post-bite mosquito stuff to everywhere, and maybe read some more and listen to some music. Zen as fuck. Look at you go, little buddy. Just flying there. Woo! Yeah. Because the video from earlier was already long, I'll keep this one short. Had a really lovely dinner and got to chat to the owner a lot more, which I'll expand upon when I talk about what I want to do. So I'll write some notes from that. And going to the beach tomorrow and doing some exploring and going around with a couple of the other workers and volunteers, which is nice. I also confirmed that the reason that the girl wanted to take a photo with me is because I am handsome, apparently. So, not because I'm a foreigner at all. Apparently that's just not a thing. So, anyway, yeah, I've got to go get my mosquito net because I left it